19th February, 2:38 p.m. Briar Road. Looks as though the police are still here carrying on with their investigation. Welcome everyone back to Penguin's Records, and this time we're on case number 4. A woman stabbed in the back, not dead yet, but definitely injured. And right now we just received a letter to present Gregson. And show her this message. Alright, this little handwriting is so adorable, isn't it? Tells you I'm in black, whatever he wants to know. Just won't be a problem. Yes, that handwriting might be adorable, but the message is ominous. There's no room for sentiment there. I'm sure it's simply a way of your interpreting it, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, I hope the inspector will tell us what we need to know, relates. Yep. That much piping on chest until his ears, do you? Well, that wouldn't be an entirely terrible outcome. Oof. Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? I'm sorry to say I don't. I'm a very busy man. Munching is too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gadabouts, that's for sure. We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson. What? For me? From her ladyship? Her ladyship? Give it to her at once. Come on, hand it over. And that's for me. Don't wait for me to give it to you, will ya? Alright, my dog first wants to come in anyway. Come on, Frank. So I do have to keep an eye out for her. It's an appearance fee. That's what it is. An appearance fee? Oh, I see. You mean... That's right. For the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Her ladyship always offers me a financial reward for featuring me. Every time. Yes, it makes of course. I know about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly. Of course. Here using her name without my say-so do make me a bit of an unpleasant jokes, but still... I'm sorry, Inspector. That must be difficult for you. Never mind that! So, what do you want to know then? Sorry? Tell John in the black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem. It says? Obviously it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know? Well, wouldn't mind, Inspector. Would very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings. The little knife-wielding, moustache Japanese fellow. He lives right... Old hovel. It's just over there, look! And that place, on first floor of that house in the corner. That's where the wreck of the bicycle popped up. That is nearby indeed. I remember rightly, the landlord is Mr. John Garadeb. Right, well... See her again. Make sure you give her a ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean it. You tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes. Don't worry, Inspector. We will. Goodbye for now, then. And long live her ladyship! Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before he left. Yes, so then, shall we go and see what we can find Mr. Natsume's lodgings? Definitely. New location, I see. "19th February, Mr. Natsume's lodgings." May I help you? Yes. Would you be the residents of Mr. John Garadeb? Indeed it would, sir. And whom may I say is calling? My name is Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Solutsuke Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here. Would very much like to ask him some questions about our client. One moment, please. I convey the message to Mr. Garadeb. Did you see that, Mrs. Sato? That was a real-life English maid. Yeah, nothing to get too worked up over. That was the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. And this day keeps getting better. It feels like we've arrived now, doesn't it? I only need to meet the butler, and the experience will be complete. I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Garrett will see you now. This way. That's a lot of destructories. Good day to you. John Garrideb, at your service. Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer. Do excuse me now I'm getting up. Took a short knee to a few years back in the Battle of Maui. Do you know? I'm out for my pains, but I had to withdraw from the service. Head over to the reins of the up-and-comings. I was a retired soldier. I'm hell of a job. I'm getting down and up the stairs now. I can tell you. I don't get out much, as you can imagine. So it's quite a climb up here to get to the second floor, is it? I was panting to the top of the stairs. I really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo. Do you think so? Well, Mr. Garrideb, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal. Oh, it was nothing. This medal is just a photo, really. Would like to offend the general, though. I directly displayed it on the wall. I see it. Why don't you fetch it down, Joan? Let these good people see it properly. Joan, fetch the... Ah! Dastard woman! Be careful! Oh, dear me. I beg your pardon, sir? You jolly near took the skins off my hands. I should be more careful, sir. So anyway, there you have it. Living the quiet life now. Yes, I see. No concern for his knee. Yeah, chap lodging downstairs. You sus. We would be very grateful if you could answer the same questions for us. Do be pleased, only naturally, especially if it helps to keep the pace here in Blightly. We forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently. I'm sure you're aware. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Oh, is it? Even had some famous detectives poking around, you know, this old house, would you believe? Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Could you have been... Didn't catch cat's names. Not my cup of tea, all detective business. Oh, but I have a copy of Rand's magazine here, so... no. Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room, as we speak. So he's in Saseki-san's room. It's a ball of nuisance, that's what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching in currents now. Don't like all this fuss. It's a jolly unsettling. About Miss Natsume then. Mr. Garrideb, please tell us. Yes, the Japanese chap. Only been lodging here for a week. Oh, just 1 week? They moved in there very recently then. I have 2 lodgers most of the time. One on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor room became available a week ago, you see. There'd been... Ah! Dash it, Joan! Do be careful! Oh my goodness. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Do you want to know my opinion? I thought he was a shady sort of the moment. I set eyes on him. Oh? Why? I seem to have the most nervous disposition. Always shaking and always looking over his shoulder. And said shady right across his sweat-looked brow, if you ask me. I said to myself, Joan, if I'm into trouble, sooner or later he's going to do something untoward. And I'm very rarely wrong about anything. We won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure. Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? So yes, indeed there was. And she's dying to tell us. Have you not noticed anything else at all about your lodger, Miss Natsume? Oh my word, yes. The man was shadier than an orchard. Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is. More than anyone could ever read. I never had so much to pass the time of the day with another living soul. Haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off that old bookshop every single day. Checking back from 5 to light the gas fire. And then the funny little man is up long past the time everyone else is in the house has gone to bed, you know. Oh, I see. The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed around 9 each night. But I've never known the Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. Ah. Could you clarify something, I wonder? What, pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine? Oh. I understood that neither of the lodgers lived in this floor in the house. Is that correct? That's right, yes. They're both below us, on the first floor and street level. Then, how is it that you know so much about the lives of the Dodgers? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example. Even the times they go to bed. Yarr! Good grief, Joan! Be more careful, woman! Oh, goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry. That's the third time she's done it. Something doesn't add up here. Yeah, she's definitely doing that on purpose. I see that the incident took place around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out the window at the time around the time? The window? Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out to Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just far side of the street. There was anyone suspicious loitering nearby? 5 o'clock dinner time is the Garadeb household. I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joan? No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already that hour. And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see through the other side of the road. Oh, I see. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary, then? Such as... anything at all? Anything unrelated? Well... yes, what's something then? It's nothing particular significant, but around the third time in here, there... For the love of God, Joan! Watch what you're doing! Oh, dearie me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. Be more careful, woman. Of course, sir. If I may, Naruhodo? Yes? I have an extremely good memory. Far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all. Oh, really? Did Garadeb? I checked them before. It sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really. Nothing of... Ah! Joan, dash it all! What's the matter with you, woman? Begging your pardon, sir? Nothing happened. Yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down to quite an eventful meal, Joan? That's right. That's right, Mr. Garadeb. What is the matter with these two? Sounds like something's happened there in this room other than the incident, but what? I wish I knew. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on? Why, certainly. Just below us on the first floor. And then Mr. Sholmes is investigating there, as we speak? Yes. Told me not his name had asked him to the matter, so I gave him the key. Does Natsume engage Mr. Sholmes' services? That's plain lie. Would it be alright if we also had a look around? Mr. Natsume's room, I mean... Don't see why not. It's just down 1 flight of stairs. Who knows if we'll find anything that could help us with this case, but we have to try. We need all the clues we can lay on our hands on, shall we? Yes, and while we're there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. He'll be able to tell us more. The enormous screen. It must have been put there deliberately, for sure. Yes, it certainly seems something's trying to hide something from the view. What could be behind it? I wonder. I'm going to have a very quick look. Just a little peek. Ahem, ahem. Maybe let's not, Mr. Sato. I think the maid is going to head us with a cup of tea. Ahem, ahem. That woman's going to stop us. We have to see if she skedaddles at some point. We can investigate on our own. 19th February. This is something. And bricks in the windows. What? Look at this place. And the smell of it. It's so musty in here. I suppose the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life. Oh, me neither. It's so dark in here, too. Is that the window over there? Well, it was the window, I think. Yes, once upon a time. For some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. Oh, this is where Mr. Natsume lives. By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere, have you? That's true. But according to what Mr. Garrett told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating. My Jesus, that's just tons and tons of books. Look at that, all those books stacked up there. They almost reached the ceiling. And they're all works of English literature, and they do smell so musty. Without a volume of books so hand, you'd never be as sure of reading material, would you? No, well, it's a dreamy idea. A bad dream, maybe. For me, at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the books at the bottom pile now will ever be read again. Ah, so reading is just an experience that comes but once in a lifetime, just as the tea ceremony teaches us. I certainly didn't expect that conversation to turn down the path of the tea ceremony philosophy. A Neko. Look, it's a beckoning cat from home. It's a mannequin Neko. Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring that mannequin Neko from Japan with him. I hardly think you're in position to come in, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous Dorama doll that you brought in your luggage? Well, it can be dangerous traveling aboard. I want a lucky charm. Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same, and this cat is for sure beckoning good luck to him. It's not doing a very good job so far, is it? You mustn't say such things. I didn't say a word. Why are my eyes such a giveaway? Good point. Look at all these balls of paper on the floor. There are notes scrawled all over them, in English. It looks like the waste paper basket is so full, they've just fallen out. That's just strange, with how he didn't understand the cops at his door speak another language. And he's studying all this English and all this literature, and he still couldn't understand them. I find that funny. Aww. Oh my, what a noble cat! Perhaps he's looking for the books with all his masters away. I don't know about that. He disappeared into that pile of books as quick as a flash. Oh, the tricolor Mike, wasn't it? Mike? Wasn't it? Well, that cat here in Britain. Perhaps Mr. Natsume had brought the little creature with him from Japan. That's made me feeling homesick now. Alrighty, we've only been in the tree for 2 days. That dust seems to be wedged into crevice between the mountains of books on either side. Suppose Mr. Natsume what he read was soaking his cat. Surrounded by the sides were the tortured tomes, he dreamt of the books every night as well. Must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from the second-hand bookshop. Your books. Yes, Miss Natsume's name is on it. Look, and all the date of the purchase. Ah, 2 days at 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident. That's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books. Could you even call this a window? I think so. It was a window at one time, after all. Although, it remains a frame around some bricks now. So it's just a wall then, isn't it? But why would anyone deliberately brick up it like that? I'm afraid I have no idea. Ah! Perhaps Mr. Natsume painted the big brick design on a fit of whimsy. That's alarming feat, if possible. Anyway, whatever the reason, the lack of ventilation in here makes it very oppressive. It does. I imagine being cupped up in a room like this would be extremely tiring. Oh look, it's Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Ah, look, Mr. Naruhodo. Aha, there he is. Where did he appear from? He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. I hope he won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, you too, good day. Now, let me see. Where was it where we met? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, we were together on the SS Bureau. Yes, of course, the Bureau. And let me see. What happened on that voyage? It was Kazuma Asogi. He died, tragically. But you were a great help to us. Ah, yes, of course. The kiss of Mr. Asogi. Here's one with the snake, wasn't it? Oh. Well, you seem to remember. Something of it, at least. There was a snake, but it wasn't the centerpiece. Here's the Mr. Oh, no. Hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic. Mr. Naruhodo? And Mr. Susato. Try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. I lose the first round. In truth, I have to invite you both to my Baker Street the day we arrived in London. But some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. The entire day of trivial case. Of course, I saw the matter in no more than 30 minutes. I began to set the in that short amount of time. I'm afraid that the pursuance of the new case has dulled my recollection of the past involvements a little. A little? So I mistake that one brain attic has elastic walls that can distend to an extent. I do my best to forget the useless facts, lest to be elbow out to the useful ones. Yes, those are my own good words for imitable wisdom. You know, from a adventure called A Study in Scarlet. Please, there's no need for quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately my crochet pens them beautifully. It means ours, I suppose. Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned. Goodness, what an earnest expression! Dear madam, I shall only be too pleased. In this murky room is an apt chance to discuss the murky case. More reading and that stuff. We will be allowed these lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Saseki Natsume. It will seem that you assisted his arrest, Mr. Sholmes, by stabbing a young woman outside her Briar Road. Natsume. Yes, I believe it was her name, rather along these lines. Why can't they just dub the voices for me? Oh, this reading's tiring me. I'm sorry, Mr. Sato. I have no slightest idea of what you mean. What? I believe he was looking at Susato-san. And I feigning ignorance. I assure you, I'm not merely feigning ignorance. It would appear that the pair of you are just under some misapprehension. Oh? How? I assure you I have no recollection of the accusing your stopped compatriot of the crime. Well, that doesn't make sense. The good detective of Scotland Yard made his following quest of me, and I quote verbatim. You need to ascertain the identity of whereabouts of the man seen fleeing the crime scene. Ah, a man. Seen fleeing. There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. For the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop which they'd been purchased. On speaking of proprietor, elementary, wouldn't you say? There's a Believer's Street around here, somewhere the establishment was in question. This is a lot of words. I could not tell you. It was navigating faculties, hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in philosophy. Philosophy, blah 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 blah. No! Oh dear. I'm getting tired. Mr. Garridab, the landlord. Tell me. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garridab, a retired military man. It was the first time we've ever met a soldier from the great British institution that's the services. It was the first time we've ever met a mate for the great British institution that is, the service. Ah! I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may have well been aware, my house was in London employee maid. Yes, I read much of my Great Britain primer. And so callously, whether or not the household employees and maid has come to betoken the social standings of the dwelling in therein, betoke their social standings. Sorry. Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that. An upper class, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family. Goodness, how extraordinary. I guess people are now. I remember back then people were property, and this seems no different. Being able to afford just one maid is of first importance. I had no idea. Me neither. For that is the reason I find a great situation in the situation upstairs, specifically in retired army veteran, Mr. John Garrett. How affordable he is. The fellow's hiding something. Whether or not it is imposed to the circumstances of this case, I'm yet unable to discern. I'm thoroughly lost on what he means to say. He means he's hiding something. A dingy room, I suppose. This room is sufficient to fill, my dear fellow. I assure you, the man who allows to dwell in this place is touching my eyes sooner or later. Jesus, I need to give my eyes a rest. At this rate, they're going to become 20. They're going to become 24. I don't believe that's the issue here. Yeah, good point. My eyes must be 2016 at remains. About this dark low room, Mr. Sholmes. No longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of a sort. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. The window tax. Are you serious? There's a tax for windows? That is completely ridiculous. You get a tax for windows? Would it cost more to pave the bricks there? A tax was levied on households in this country to tax by the number of their windows. Or the lesser means, having inherited sizable and costly family homes perhaps, rapidly close windows up. With their rich opened windows here, and everywhere. An effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. And can you say that again? For lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home, perhaps rapidly close windows up. While the rich opened windows there and everywhere, in an effort to curry favor with those in power, by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. Ah, it's ridiculous. How awful and unjust, forcing people to live in their rooms with devoid of light? Indeed, disease was rife as a result. So some 40 years ago, or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. Okay, I'm glad it's gone, but it's not very generous, perhaps. It appears so. I've done a little digging, and discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price. Because the room is awful, I would think. That would make sense. Only moved here about 1 week ago. Yes, and that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Still, that is off low relevance here. No matter of worth further accusation. Are you sure? I'm curious now. Well, I believe I've told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes. Mr. Naruhodo, was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remembered that, didn't you? Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not so sure. Not sure? On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well, I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition realized. And so promptly, too. The thing is, it's really made question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence? Yes, trust. Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he? Ah! My dear fellow, I have the first idea. Oh, but... That's why we're here. Didn't you come back to investigate? Oh, yes, that's what was indeed my initial intention. But there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. Oh, I see. Wrong button, misclick. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite conveniently. And I put But for the crime scene, today's go was a Japanese occupied this rear man. There were witnesses who swear who have seen the man commit the crime. That is all I can say. And one more thing. Oh, what is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us. I cannot say without certainty whether or not if it's relevant to this case, but I'm quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something. Mr. Garadeb is... Mr. Sholmes said much before actually, didn't he? Anyway, at present, that is really all placed on my mind in relation to this case. Naruhodo, and yet our investigation has uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence. No, you're right. Perhaps it was time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Garadeb's secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. Busy man. Busy days. This is a lot. February 19th, Mr. Garadeb's room. Ah, you pair again. Tell me, what the detective chap, I forgot his name, still have hard work down there? Mr. Erlich Sholmes? Ah yes, rings a vague bell. At the detective's business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid. Well, Mr. Sholmes is in his element down there. Jolly good show. Another cup of tea, if you please, Mr. Joan. Miss Joan. Now then, why don't you tell me what? For one time, for the umpteenth time, woman! Will you watch what you're bawling you're doing? I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir. Ah, yes, of course. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that she pours her tea with her eyes closed. Oh yes, of course. We're deeply grateful for all your assistance. Not all, not all. Don't get so much chance to talk with your young foreigners like yourselves. That's all a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garib is hiding something. And since no other avenues of interest seem to open us at the moment, perhaps we should do something big. And he's back again. Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it? Oh my, a genuine London dresser. Isn't it delightful? Well, it's also very... Although the shelves seem to be broken, and the crockery is... Oh dear. It's in pieces. The word cracked wouldn't do that chinware. Yeah. Ah, I wonder... Perhaps the cannon was fired at it. Ah, probably something like that. But let's not delve too deeply here. That's kind of mad. I could look... Yeah, we're wasting time. What's Herlock doing here? What's he doing over there? Mr. Sholmes? Aha, we meet again, my dear fellows. Good gracious, when did you sneak in here? Oh, it's Sholmes, sir. At your service. Whatever you doing by the window? I'm given to watch an every evening side the sun sets, madam. But sadly, cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks an penchant for such observation. I like the idea of we've looked space down the window here. Well, keep an eye out to one's window at dusk is a pertinent thing in London, I'm gathering. Ah, and the other thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, me? I thought perhaps you might be in need of certain great detectives. Great mind. Wait, he's not talking about... Is he? I didn't expect to be going through that again too soon. Oh, do you mean Mr. Sholmes? There is a mighty secret in this moss room. My eyes are the most trivial of trifles. Takes you prepared, Mr. Naruhodo? I think so. It's just time enough for one greatly admired great deductions. Let's conclude the matter before dark. Mr. Garadeb, although it would seem you are a military man of considerable distinguished service, your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first-rate. I'm afraid, sir, that is too clearly for me. There are two conclusions I have been able to draw by careful observation in your living arrangements. I beg your pardon? The first is that even as we speak, you are concealing the precise of a ferocious beast in your care. Yeah? And the second is that you are a result of the beast's violent rampage, having lost someone very dear to you. Naruhodo, look. The man was broken out in cold sweat. Unbelievably, it seems that the children's conclusions are both spot on. How could you possibly... How could I possibly know? You mean acquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. For in the dense jingle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts! And I know only too well that wild beasts are not easily tamed. So we begin? Not again how like Sholmes is proud to present. Logic and reasoning spectacular. Here goes again. Nature of the beast. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see. The fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. The truth we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? For the man with the military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garadeb, leads us directly to the answer. The true adventure of the beast rampant here is revealed by a lion statue! Yes, the thought of an army, man. You appear opposing at best. In fact, you feel your admiration and mighty lion, the king of beasts. What is this pepple, I ask you? In the end, your admiration has become so great, in fact, that you're out of living beneath a specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep this very house. What? Living with such a wild beast proved more difficult than you had imagined. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well, as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madam? Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it's plain to me with one glance in your direction. It is. Your dress pocket has some handsome clue to where the beast's current whereabouts. Proceeding from its handbill advertising in a circus show. That you sought to dispose of this terrifying lie, Mr. Garadeb. A Bai's circus. A traveling show currently sunjourning in the nearby park. I have observed the tents. You sold the savage lion, sir, to a circus troupe. I most certainly did not. I believe I have made my point. The fearsome beast which ran among this room is an Indian lion. And a simple visit to a circus now will reveal the lion practicing jumpingly around the ring of fire. A rampaging Asiatic lion. Aftermath. Now, Mr. Garadeb, it is plainly clear that you have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, the blithering pose, the distressed loss that caused you variably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. The pain you feel being revealed by a supporting arm. And amid fit for tears, you let your beloved geese go. The strain of viewing someone dear to you is clearly visible on your visage. Nonsense, man, I simply... But what, we must ask ourselves, is the true cause of this pain? And we need only to follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, the pile of bills that has given a rise to pain and suffer. The envelope contains another demand for payment. A cartloads of meat, potatoes, wheat, and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved has been a devastating impact on your financial circumstances to your household. So you had no choice but to let go. Yes, well, Now, in a final fit of rage, the freshest beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. The expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? This time, ma'am, I'm afraid it's you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we only need to look at the Tower of Cakes. There's no creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unstained appetite. Was it not once said by a certain noblewoman, if they have no bread, let them eat cake? Food is the heart of all tragedy, in fact. Whatever do you mean? Having a tired taste of cakes, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sure we not need to spell the nature of this final act of destruction carried out by the beast. There's only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet! The teeth marks in the carpet are a perfect match with the lion it once saw in India. What a lion really thin here, though, seriously. I think even the great detective can think about that context. I guess context isn't Herlock or Sherlock's thing. In a way. Sometimes. What's the matter with you, Joan? You're pouring hot tea all over me! Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Garrideb. I'm afraid I didn't notice. Yeah, she's not looking at when she pours her tea. My deceptions can't be sparingly sharp. It is my reasons that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times, too. Oh. Mr. Sholmes, sorry to butt in, again. But I make an observation. Why, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. What is, again? Your deductions are just now. Do you really think a lion could have fit inside a room this size? Indeed, it's the only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth of all too often lies beneath the realms of common sense. Wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies beneath the realms of common sense as well? An uncaged lion to run amok in this very room? Sure, Mr. Garrideb and his maid would have been hurt, or worse. That's where you are stuck. No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast using that large cannon. I thought you said they sold that lion to the circus. And what about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe it would have hurt a lion that drinks tea. My dear Mrs. Sato, it cures me with some irregularity. That irrespective race of breeding. Anyone lands on great British soil, they're infused with the highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea. Not so sure about that. Mr. Naruhodo, it's your turn to shine again. I have a feeling it was coming. A slight massage. That's all Mr. Sholmes' deductions need. You can do it! Excellent. I've been waiting for my thirsty partner to step forward. We don't even know whether or not that's going to help Mr. Natsume's case. Still, uncovering the truth is always worthwhile, wherever the motivation. At least, that's what I want to believe. Let's start again. From the beginning. Of Herlock Sholmes' Logical and Reasoning Spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. I certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see. Yeah. We've already read all this. For a man with military breeding, your eyes are commonly candid. Yeah. Very took a glance, Mr. Garrideb. It is a lion. Whoop-de-doop-doop-de-doop. I really didn't see the lion coming. No, but if you observe Mr. Garrett's reaction, it rather seemed as though some beast did run amok here in this room. Yes, something with a very fierce nature. It could have been a lion transported from India. Yeah, no kidding. What was it then? Let's follow Mr. Garrett's gaze. That'll lead us to the true answer. Let's take a look here. What's this photograph? It appears to be from Mr. Garrett's wedding. He looks very happy, doesn't he? He does, but you can't make out with his bride. No, unfortunate. Something must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face. I wonder what happened. Probably not best to deliver deeply here.
Take that!
Let's see. Yep, shattered the glass. We made that one right. The true nature of the beast that has been running rampant here is revealed by that newly bride. Precisely, Mr. Naruhodo. No other explanation could possibly fit. Yes, this frame pictures wife Mr. Garrett. And while lament the fact her face is obscured, we can still make out her mighty arms. Note the considerable horsepower they must contain. Indeed, surely any woman with such powerful constitution would be honored to just be described as a beast. Honored might be stretching a point. Too late. The fact remains the beast which so clearly savaged this room was your wife, Mr. Garrett. Ah! Chilling traces of a wild rampage are very much the evidence. Well, as well we look around, the beast in question fails to represent itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madam? Me? I pray you not consider the unchivalrous bullets played with me one glance at your direction. It is? Sorry, I didn't hesitate. The dress pocket with some handsome clues to the whereabouts. The poor, fragile, defenseless woman is beside herself. Well, I don't know about fragile. Oh dear. Anyway, Mr. Shumps is quite right. There is no sign of Mrs. Garrett anywhere, but it seems we might be a clue to whereabouts. Look at that, the maid is trying to hide. I wonder where Mr. Garrett's wife could be. Nah, this is real not giving me a good angle. No, it would not be in his teapot. And check the wedding ring out. She's wearing a very large ring. Look! Oh yes, a sunflower design with some rather nice embellishments. That's on the ring finger of her left hand, which means it's surely a wedding ring. It looks it's on there for life too. I can't imagine it would slide off a finger like that size. That's something to think with, Naruhodo. Not to say. Do you know Miss Garrett's wife in the photograph had a ring very much like that one? It's a large sunflower design as well. Really? You have a great memory for these things. A large sunflower wedding ring. It's quite a coincidence that they have the same ring, isn't it? So she's the wife? Oh, wait. This could actually spell something out.
Take that!
You didn't lose anyone at all. Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue to the beast's current whereabouts. Ah! Indeed it does. That flowery bland getting on your fingers gives you right away. Whereas identical to the one shown in the hand of Mr. Garrett's bride in the photographic print. In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. No. You are Mr. Garradab's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Garradab herself. Oh my! Ward! Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you were rightly summarized, this is the wife, yes, my Joan. Or let herself go, you might say, but she was a bally corporate back. Ah! It would seem appear that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you are a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, you would have insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? That's not right, I tell you. I was second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. The man has pride, you know. By golly, it's a sorry thing when the chapter can't even afford a single maid in his employ. Yes, and here in London, one is rather judged. A household cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. But without my considered opinion, such concern about appearances are folly. You mean, Miss Garradab has his wife work as his maid? Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Garradab? Only in company, obviously. But listen here. This must remain a secret. Tip-top secret, please! The waging rife of Mr. Garradab. Let's see. Now, Mr. Garradab, it is plainly clear that you still have a deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, that blithpold distress of loss that you because you is verbatimly tangible. Alright. Your head weighs and heavy on your shoulders. The pain you feel being resolved by the supporting arm. Shrimp is quite something. He's still calling Mr. Garradab's wife a beast. Yes. As a woman, that feels rather uncomfortable. I also agree with that. But Mr. Garradab is standing beside her husband as we speak. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he? Oh, how true. So perhaps that supporting arm seems to be propping his head has some other significance then. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garradab's pain is tangible though. What could the pain really be? Well, I did see his hand. Oh. Oh my, look at the bright red mark. Gosh, that's quite something. And clearly made by somebody's hand. Yes, Mr. Garradab has been slapped on the face, it seems. Hard. Now, could there have been something that done such a thing? Well, there's a very limited number of candidates, I'd say.
Take that!
Your head weighs heavy on your soldiers. The pain you feel being revealed by the slapped cheek. And of course, the silver on that impressive mark on your cheek refuses to fade. It was you, Madame Joan Garradab. Well, yes. You have been desperate. Hide the slap mark on your cheek, sir. Ah! How the blazes. Did you work that out, man? Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow. That's why you haven't looked that directly at us even once. Keep your other side from view. Well, Now, let's proceed to the next conundrum. Were you subjecting the violent slap? In other words, let's ask ourselves what caused Madame Garradab to fly into a rage. We need to only follow the directions of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it's the pile of bills that gives rise to pain and suffering. Did Mr. Sholmes say that the bills were already for a lion fodder? Yeah, but now we've established that the lion never existed. The thing responsible for gobbling up the food was Mr. Garradab's wife. Naruhodo, she's a person, not a thing! Yes, well, she's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap around the face. One so hard I left a perfect hand mark, in fact. Yeah, why would a woman want to hit her husband with such force, I wonder? I'd love to know that answer to the question. Ah, someone must have reading this book at the moment. There's a bookmark here. Look, Mr. Garrett is clearly an avid reader. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think this is a bookmark. Oh no, it isn't. It's a note written in a woman's hand. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Look next to signature here. Lip marks made with lipstick. A what passionate romantic gesture. Oh, James, I love you. Don't get any ideas, Tato-san. Oh dear, I'm sorry. This bookmark is actually love note then.
Take that!
I can't find the daddy, but we must continue. Can assume he was cheating. Yes, this love note has given rise to the pain you suffer. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed. Perhaps the sender of this note, sorry, Miss Mary, in the fly of an ornament here? Gah! But I don't know the Bali woman. You don't know her? That note wasn't written to me. It was just in the book. I didn't know how it got there. It was just in there, you say? That's right. That's why I'm trying to. A likely story. Nothing here, John, you old thing. I explained at the time. I bought that book at a second-hand place. And the note must have already been in there. John Garrett and Joan Garrett. The previous owner of the book was using the note as a bookmark, you mean? That's right, that's why I've been trying to. I like the story. For heaven's sake, woman, look at the name. It's written to James. My name, in case you've forgotten, is John. I did realize that. I like the story. Are you questioning my name now? And there we have it. Arouse suspicions of a female heart, you unleashed a beast, the most ferocious bite. Now, in the final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can clearly be seen by observing the carpet over there. An expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh dearie me. What could have caused the self-destructive outburst? This time, madam, I'm afraid it's you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Accordingly, I set upon the answer neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we only need to look at the Tower of Cakes. Yeah, I ate the cakes. But surely the scared up didn't eat the carpet. No, of course not. But there doesn't seem to be any doubt. She's rather chubby. I think she may have flung a candle. This is the last part of Mr. Sholm's deduction that we need to fix. We only have to follow Mr. Garrett's gaze, and that will tell us the real answer. Alright, let's see what we can see. Yes! It's usually a third object, but it's most likely we need the candlestick. Looks like a very old candlestick. And seems that one of them is missing. Oh yeah, single knot could take a top over. Yeah, it would be dangerous, alright. There's one candle missing. Yes, I didn't notice that before. Why is that, I wonder? Why is one candle of the 3 missing from its holder?
Take that!
Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, one only needs to look at the candlestick. Most illuminating, my dear fellow, and of course, the only possible way out of this logical labyrinth. Yes, the remembrance of the ferocious attack in which the carpet was devoured are clearly visible. Indeed they are. The scorch marks at the end clearly give the truth away. Scorch marks? It would appear that this room was the scene of a little martial acceleration. Alteration. Miss Garrideb's mighty arm muscles left an impression not only on her husband's face, but on the entire room. The force of her strike caused the candle to fall from the holder. In seconds, the carpet was alit. The whole corner was in a room of flames. Yes, for the most ferocious beast in the world is neither a violent lion or a vengeful woman, but fire. And in this room, that ferocious beast bared its claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. There you see but is one conclusion here. After the sparks of martial discord flew, this room was the scene of a fire. Mr. Sholmes, sir, I salute you! Is he? He passed out. Carpet scorched by a small fire. And that's solved. Deduction complete. Elementary. It's these dashed long winter nights, you know. Nothing to do but read in front of the fire. Luckily, there's a jolly good second-hand bookshop just around the corner. But all my novels there. In the pages of one particular novel, you discovered a rather illicit material, for which your wife admonished you harshly, it seems. I don't know about admonished. Demolished might be rather close to the mark. And beast is most certainly an absolute Here we go again. And the carpet? Was that destroyed by a fire when the candle fell on the floor? Afraid to say it was. Having to blink an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a belly thing! I was caught between the old stick's rage and raging flames. You paint a torrid picture, sir. One that you have been most entertaining. That's sympathy for you. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The ball of furniture started going up as well. We had to hide the mess behind that scene for the time being. Over there, Mr. Garrideb. We have nothing more to hide now. If you'll allow me. Yep, that is definitely nasty. Had my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got a hold of them, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. Gosh. And what, the wife started hurling things at me? What a terrible sight it must have been. There was I, back up against the window, under heavy enemy fire. Incendiary books coming 10 to a dozen. Worst of it is I lost my favorite, a book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride? Ah yes, your notorious love of big cats coming through again. I assure you, the title didn't influence my choice in the slightest. The poor man really did lose something dear to him as a result of the ferocious beast's rampage. The Sholmes' deductions turned out to be correct once again! Can only be described as great British wonder. I tell you, it was total carnage. Flames everywhere and the old stuck in full fettle. Out of interest, what time of day was that? Not sure I can remember. It was 2 days ago now. Let's see. Around 5 o'clock, I think. It's exactly the same time. As the terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window that street below? Even more terrifying on the inside, I can assure you. The whole Blightley could have been flying outside my window at that moment. And I wouldn't have noticed a dashed thing. Oh, really? Yeah, something's not adding up here. Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. How can I do for you? Well, you think we've got to the bottom of the Garrideb situation now. What did it have to do with Miss Natsume's circumstances? I can't help you there, I'm afraid. What? My dear fellow, If you recall, I didn't say much from the outset. I warned you of that, although I knew the retired army man was hiding something. I could not be sure whether his secret was to prove to be irrelevant or not. I just knew you were going to say that. As all things fall into only two categories. Those relevant in the case, and those not. That makes no sense to me. Actually, it could be relevant. It's of very great importance that you marked up your mind now. Sorry? Visiting hours are in prison will be soon over. Oh no, is it time already? Oh yeah, I've been here quite some time. Look at the time! Look somewhere. Have you been wasting... Well, actually, no. You are entertaining yourself, sir, but... Sir or madam, but... You are definitely... Okay, fine. You're definitely entertaining yourself. Oh, sorry, I just got that from the Gyarados. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Whatever it did not matter. Let's move. I thought I was going to prison. I thought I was going to the prison. The time is over. We must hurry back to the prison. I don't know. Let's get. Oh. What's the matter? It looks like something's going on over there in front of the Gyarados house. What on the... Whoa! It is cursed! It is cursed! What on earth? This guy's even richer than the Irishman! And Mr. McGilded. I do not know the man, old man. Fall to the prayers. What the... Who are you calling old man, you rum-looking ninny-penny? There are no more things in heaven and earth, Horato, than the dream of your philosophy. Who are you, Horato fella, eh? What are you on about? What the heck? Excuse me. What the? Who are you now? I'm sorry, it just looked as though there might be some problem here. My associate here, Mr. Naruhodo, is a lawyer, you see. A lawyer? What? I can only be of assistance. I'd be happy to help. I'm from Japan, but I have studied English law. Fine, I'll be on my way today, but you mark my words. It ain't over yet! Get thee to nunnery! I'll look the blooming nun to you! Are they a man or woman? I don't even know now. I do hope you're not injured. Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so gentle, thank you. What was that all about? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horato, than dreams of your philosophy. I'm not Horatio either. Forgive the inquiry, sir, but... Are you a lodger here? In the Gyarados residence? For Eastern maiden, thou art so right. I do dwell in the humble abode. Humble abode. The lodger, yeah. This must be this man. Why is he lodging in a poor-class place like this? He has a golden staff, and there's even gems on his clothing. Hang on, I mean, look at them. He is clearly filthy rich, just by his attire. Ah yes, a gentleman named Natsume. Oh, more worthy of columnist in my battle of words than there could be. Sorry, battle did you say? Who's the stronger, Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume and I sparred long into the night. I see. I don't fully understand, but it seems Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances at least. Ah, fair maiden, so good gentlemen. I can attire no longer now. Fare thee well. Oh my god, that is so suspicious. I didn't really understand him, but I think he's returned to this room. And he's unaware what happened, Mr. Natsume, so he can't really help us. So, Saseki-san... yeah, Gyarados house fully sent that. Let's just move on, okay? Yes, I'm sure Mr. Natsume is eagerly awaiting our return. Let's hope we can get to the prison before visiting hours are over. I do see possible motive for murder, but I'm not going to hold to conclusions yet. Oh, it's you! You're here! You came! Locum studum Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I can't believe you came back! I'm so... touched! We are so sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Natsume. Oh no, think none of it. Relax! If I were a cat, I would purr with pleasure in my company of such combined compatriots. Noble, nurturing, never-failing Nipponese! Now let's not get carried away. Oh, quite I agree. There's nothing more reassuring than the familiar of one's native land. On the other hand, is thorough friendship. What are you doing here? That's my belief in at least. Oh, it's yes, it's you. A miserable rotten spy. I heard Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing here? The save observing, of course. What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Well, having encountered some curious reading material of the Gloompool Room, and having unmasked the secret identity of that eccentric pair, I decided I would drop in on my way home, to see how our divided friend is faring. Gloompool Room. At least your accommodation here offers a window, my dear fellow. In that sense, it is a superior room. Anyway, I must commend to your taste in books. My day had been a delight, cost me not a penny. Ah, you! How dare you! Orlok Sholmes! I've had it. I'm through. I'm at the end of my rope. I should never have come here to Great Britain. I was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits of those accursed lodgings. Know that my luck will be cursed tomorrow's trial as well. My whole life is bedamned! Oh, better to end it now then! What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? He mentioned that once before, didn't he? His lodgings were cursed, I mean. And there is much truth in Mr. Mustache's words. What? Cursed is wholly appropriate description, I would say. For my lodgings, and indeed, for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? Mr. Natsume, what did you mean by what you said there now? About being accursed? Oh no, why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away. That's all. I didn't mean anything of it. It really agitated him. You mean the child is cursed somehow? I refer to the prosecutor, the Reaper of the Bailey? The Reaper? Oh no, what do you mean? We defeated Von Zykes. We've defeated him before. No defendant has ever survived in the trial with Reaper's friends, the prosecution ever. Oh, you can set up a Guinness World Record then, with me. Oh my goodness, it can't really be true. It was 16 words exact. Seriously, was it true? No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution ever. Yep! Yesterday, Mr. Naruhodo successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances. Mr. McGilded. Whoa. What? I'm impressed, Mr. Sasato. You have an eye for detail. Perhaps the Lord Chief Justice told us. Mr. Sholmes? Surely it can't be that having failed to have accused convicted. Lord Von Zykes killed the man himself? No. He might be a prosecutor, but he would not break the law in order to keep a perfect streak. Though that does sound like someone. Oh no, he couldn't have, surely? No, we saw that cutscene from part 12. I highly doubt he wasn't the one responsible. You have some wonderful notions. Sorry? That man isn't a mass murderer. He's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow. Oh, yes. It can't be Van Zykes. He might be a prosecutor and a reaper, but he is not someone that would do homicide in that circumstance. He only executes on legal circumstances. The real truth is about a man who is even more terrifying than you hypothesize. That the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than you hypothesize. What on earth do you mean by that? The Reaper? His feelings chilling all of a sudden. But it's a quick, exceptional man. In modern courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception. Ah, so that's good. The second looks like he's going to cry tears of joy. As you are no doubt aware, in British criminal trial, there is both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates the base layer of the law. The jury are public officer opinion and common sense. It's an excellent system, whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion is particular and somewhat easily manipulated. Right. Criminals and corrupt lawyers from that matter can use it to their advantage? By any means at their disposal, contriving evidence, calling imposters as witnesses, and so on. Such underneath hands, those which want to do are able to sway the jury. Which means even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail. That means the wrong verdict can be passed. And sadly, and from time to time, my dear madam, it's simply the reality of the situation. And that's alright. However, those indicted by Lord Van Zykes cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed. Oh my. The judges may seem to leave the courtroom with their freedom. Within months, they all disappear. It is most striking. Disappear? But how? Ah, by all manner of misfortune, sir. Perhaps they are trampled on a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into a Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fever. Perhaps they are attacked in a highwayman. Oh, no. All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruhodo. I just got a chilling strike. And I have one word. Moriarty. I knew it. I'm a dead dodo, done for, doomed! I'm starting to think it's possible someone under Moriarty's name was the killer of the third case. And to stay above it all, evidence and Mr. McGilda himself were destroyed. It is Sherlock Holmes. And we've had Dr. Watson, even deceased. He's present. Lestrade. Why would Moriarty not be here? The famous arch-nemesis of Sherlock. You mean to believe the place is cursed? It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain. But it only has been less than a week before I started to notice strange feelings myself. That I didn't take long then. Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring to me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about the outside. They were always staring at me, and time from dusk. I shut myself in the way room, but every time I did help, the fear wouldn't go away. You must have been very lonely having been away from your homeland such a long time. I've had nonsense a number of times, most recently to that room of the Briar Road, a week ago. Yes, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient. The rent is cheap. I have so little money, it appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Oops! He quickly covered the mistake and was... I'm not sure if I saw myself, but I think his eyes just may have made a Bitcoin, or like the symbol of an arrow 1, but I may have just been seeing things. I'm going to take a nap after I'm done with this recording. You mean? Oh, after I upload another of my processors, I need to work on my storage. I've been plagued with nightmares. I woke up with my tongue chucked to death. Yeah, blah blah blah, let's continue! These cases are getting longer and longer by the last. Nobody wants to know me. Yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah, can't we just get to the trial already and fill everything out? I'm feeling a little impatient, not gonna lie. No one can find it in her heart to believe in me. Mumble rap, blah blah blah. To believe, yes, to believe. I think I get. Alright, fine. Let's see what you have to believe. Like a book that's gonna put me to sleep! Alright, someone to believe in you. Yeah. Mr. Sholmes. Yeah. What can I brief you now? It's about the case in which the SS Bureau, if you recall. The Bureau. Ah, yeah, that case. Only one with the snake. Well, yes. At the time, I was the suspect, but you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us to investigate. I did it, did I? Interesting. What I want to know is why. Why did you believe me? I see, yes. You mean... It's because you were grimly dressed? Shady Eastern fellow found with the victim in the locked room? Yeah, all that I could say. Yes. I'm a little surprised the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said, I didn't do it. But I could have been lying. Surely you must have your doubts. You must have suspected me a little. I think perhaps you misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you, nor in that you which were telling me. What? You see, the only thing I believe in are those I choose to believe in. What? What did you mean, Mr. Sholmes? I make my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. If I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances can hang as far as I can concern. I could have betrayed your trust. In that case, I should have made an elementary error in my judgment, nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse, in my opinion, and could be also fatal as well when I put it. Whether or not to trust another is a final analysis to one himself. It's a matter of whether this or not can be trusted on self. Yes, he's right. He's right! Most locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Whether or not I can believe myself. A defense lawyer is only good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much he has faith for himself. I didn't think I'd be speaking in his voice again. You were so right, Kazuma. Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Time's up! Yeah, let's get to the trial already! Actually, no, don't. I want to save it for next episode. Restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me? I could go for a restaurant. Not anything to get back to a new chase to keep me hanging. There's never enough time, is there? No, that's what the trials are for. Don't you get it? Mr. Natsume? If you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. In his eyes. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Like I said, I'm well experienced in British courtroom for the first time yesterday. Although a man I represent was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial? What to believe in? The defendant, justice, or the truth? How to believe even. But I think we've finally worked it out. I've decided I must believe in myself above all else. To trust my instincts. Mr. Naruhodo? My instincts are telling me that you, Ms. Natsume, are innocent of this crime. An imperative that we prove in court. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end, with every weapon available to me. Hope you permit me to represent you tomorrow. I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me, in my native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume. It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruhodo, that your mind was, in many ways, made up from the outset. You are nearly near the events of today to fully realize it. Yes, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I'll go there in the end. Mr. Sato. Yes? Would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court? Absolutely. Like I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant. The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind. But it's time to stop looking backwards. Kazuma believed in me, and Mr. Sholmes believes in me now too. So it's now time. Time that I learn to believe myself. Sasuke has no one. He is all alone. It's my time to help him. It's time to fight the corner, tomorrow. In the courtroom. Well, it's all strength I can muster. And I'll see you next time. Which is also probably 2 days. Here we go. Finally a breather.